Yo, what's going on? It is Thursday, July 16th, 11:01 a.m. Did take a trade today, but did make a mistake today. Let's get into today. So, I did not enter on my normal account, but I did take this short. I didn't enter on my Lucid or my funded futures, only entered on the 5 alphas, but I did make 34,972 times 5. Let's see. As you can see right here, made that times 5, so that's like $1,748.60. But let's talk about the day in general. So coming into open, there was one trade that I almost got fucking railed on because 930 high left a equal high, which we still haven't even taken. I almost took this 30-second just because it was looking pretty solid. Rejection off, golden pocket, quick inverse. But I'm gonna be honest, the candle was like down here and then shot back up at the last few seconds. I didn't even get in. Then it just trended downwards. I really wanted to take this 1 minute inverse right here because we had this daily low right here. We had this sell side right here. We had a couple stacked lows right here, relative equal lows right there. This was going to be my break even point. However, as you can see, the inverting candle did run my break even point and it would have ran all the way down here. Chopped around, came up, inverted here. But I wanted to take, isn't there something higher? No, I don't know. I think I just didn't take it. Yeah, I just straight up didn't take this. Would have been break even. Then in here, we had a lot of 30 seconds, which would inverse, but fail. Inverse, but fail. So like I wasn't, right here was one inverse fail. Right here was another inverse fail. So when I seen this one, we had equal highs right here, equal highs at the 930 gap. I didn't even want it because of how many times I just seen those inversions fail. So I need to see more delivery. Inverse, technically down there. This one technically hits, depending on what you target. But really strong chop. Fall out of it, chop again, and then we get this delivery, right? One thing I personally like is gaps like this, especially later in the session. When a gap had been tested so many times and we come down and we invert it with displacement, I feel as though that gap becomes higher probability. It's just something I've personally noticed, and I noticed that it delivers more, especially with low time frame draws and liquidity being below. That gap will tend to deliver more than not. Like we had a 5 minute right here and we had equal lows right here. That gap is more likely to deliver than not because of how many times this gap had been tested, showing that it was a strong gap. And once we displace do it like this or just break it with a good candle, it's likely to shit the bed down. But where I did say that I fucked up is that, like I said, I only entered on my alphas. I did not enter on my my Lucid or my funded futures. This was the risk parameters that I was looking to do. What that I did do was this. So I low-key did more on my alpha. Yeah, I did 350. I did down here. Bottom tick that hoe. Yeah, I did 350 on my alpha. Would have just done like 304, just make 300 on these. Should have taken it. It's just going entering here, entering there just fucks me up. But yeah, that was the day. I really stayed out of all of this chop and accumulation because of how many times I've seen it failing. This trade honestly wouldn't have been bad whatsoever. Would have been break even. Really, this would have been my favorite trade. And then you had this. You also had like the 30-second 930 short. Really tight. For me, the way I personally trade would have been. I know myself. I would have market or I would have limit ordered and never gotten filled. Yeah, I would have limit ordered. I know myself. But even if you market ordered and you wanted to go break even right here, I probably would have waited to go break even right here. Break even, and then it just fucking shits the bed. You could have caught fucking 4.75 RR. So I caught 1.26 R on that trade, I believe it was. 1.32. But yeah, that was the day. Nice finally way to get a fucking win under the belt. As you can see, accounts are just barely positive. Risked up like I was supposed to. As you can see, did 232 because if I would have done 5 contracts, would have been like 3. Yeah. So yeah. But other than that, not much more to it. Just good to get a win. I noticed myself just entering more, but I have to readjust to entering on two separate things. That shit's fucking me up low key, like heavy, heavy, heavy. I wasn't even like in the right mindset. I'm not gonna lie, to even take that, like to enter on the other account. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but yeah, that's my flaw of the day, and I recognize it. But what did I do well? I recognized a good trade that I have conviction in because of, like I said, these gaps being tested. Even on the 30-second, you can see right here, the 30-second never got inverted, but it had been tested so many times. I just entered without hesitation. Once it inverted, I set the limit because it did have such a low closure. I don't want to say such a low, but it did have a low closure. Got in, and then yo, I was fucking fighting for my life, bro. Fighting for my life on how to fucking TP. Like, see, bro, I had it over here, and then I entered over there, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I had entered over here, and I was like, oh shit. So I was like, there, right? And I was looking at the other one, and then I looked over, and I was like, oh shit. Look, I'm spamming confirm. That's me just clicking confirm over and over and over. And I'm like, how the fuck? But I realized today that you have to drag take profit and stop loss. Because once I did that, it worked out. So yeah, that was trade of the day today. Yeah, you can see, and then we see it just spike down. I want to see what this says actually. What the fuck? Has orphan position. Short. I don't know what the fuck that means. But we should be good. Alright. Let's make sure we're good actually. I'm sorry, this journal's long. So I had already hit close and cancel. No open positions are working. Orders to close. Should be good. Yeah. Peace, love, positivity. Thank you for tuning in.